I'd like to encourage you. Maybe you've forgotten, so please put your phone on silence. I'd like to remind you to please stop talking across the floor before we are going live. I say, yeah, because somebody talking on the other side. You're not doing live broadcast talking. We have to liberate people listening to us. They can invite with us. Fabric, you are waiting for you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today's press briefing is presided by the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, Honorable Luki Faton, and ably assisted by his Principal Deputy, Honorable Samuel Uwozi. I'd like to inform you to follow us on Global Network. You can get up on Fabric 101.1 FM, www.fabric.net, Radio Pukuya, 101.3, Radio Liberty 88.1, Puma FM is in Platinum Bread from the country, 106.3, Radio Kidman 102.6, MCC TV, also streaming us live. You can get us on Facebook, also on set of MCC TV International, also streaming us live, and the host of several community radio stations. I'd like to invite the presiding officer, Honorable Luki Faton, to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Director. The Honorable Minister of Education, your team, my Principal Deputy, ladies and gentlemen of the media. First of all, I'd like to welcome you once again to our press conference, our weekly media press briefing. Today, you will have the Minister of Education, Honorable Ansel D. Salim. Let me apologize on behalf of the Minister of Public Works, who was en route over here, but got diverted to the President because there's a delegation in town, and there is a need, very important need for his presence. He wants you all to know that he remains on the schedule. He does not think he will be able to make it back in time, but indeed he will be ready to address you at the earliest time possible. Again, we'd like to stress he was en route over here, and there was a very important need for him to be in the meeting with the President and the visiting delegation. As you know, one of the priorities of this government is centered around infrastructure development, and these people will continue to come. But the good news is we have the Honorable Ansel D. Salim here, and as you know, education has come around the forefront. He will be making his presentation and taking a lot of questions and answers from all of you. We hope to have a great time here today. Quickly, I would like to move to some housekeeping, if you want to call it that way. And the first thing I would like to deal with here is that a couple of days ago, we had a a courtesy call paid on the Liberian President, His Excellency President George Weah, by the former President of Nigeria, President Olusegun Obasanjo. That courtesy call led to just frank discussion between the former leader of Nigeria and our President, His Excellency President George Weah. Now we call that a courtesy call. Similar courtesy call was call was made on the President again by His Excellency President Malabio of the Republic of Sierra Leone. The two leaders discussed bilateral relations and bordered around economic, security, and stability within the sub-region. And I think there will be a continuation of subsequent meetings. So that's it for what happened in the last couple of days. Let us look at another issue that I want to housekeep on is the upsurge in violence, especially domestic violence, leading to a lot of murders. We were able to listen to the Methodist human rights leader this morning on a radio station, and I think it got doubled down by one of his colleagues, trying to ask the government to move swiftly to stop the murders or the homicide or the violence. Let us be clear, no one wants to wake up in the morning and listen to a radio station that tells you nothing good other than the deaths of your citizens or your fellow compatriots. But at the same time, these are not issues where you find the military going into a village and killing a whole group of people, or police moving into a town and killing a whole group of people. We have one incident, unfortunate incident, with mob justice meted out against a police officer. We'd like to state before I move forward that the government of Liberia strongly condemns, in the strongest possible terms, the death of Officer Liddell, and would like to, in this manner, extend condolences to the bereaved families of both Officer Liddell and that of Officer Stewart. Is it? And we wish the family well. Our heart goes out to them. We'd also like to extend our condolences to the Liberian National Police. They have been doing an awesome job out there. And if no one wants to give them credit, we will give them credit. And here is why. Most of the murders that were committed, people, as in the past, people thought that, nothing is going to come out of this one. We'll never find the perpetrators. We've heard statements like, we never found the killers of Harry Reeves. We never found the killers of Allison. We never found the killers. But under this new leadership of the Inspector General Patrick Sue, we gave him almost 4 for 4. Because when you look at the death of Tyrone Brown, someone had been charged, subsequently sent to court. You look at the death of the motorcyclist, someone was arrested, sent to court. You look at the death of the officer Liddell, someone had been formally charged and also sent to court. These are not unsolved murders. The justice system is equipped, and justice will take its course. As far as the criticism from some institutions as to the government not doing enough to stop the murder, let me ask you the question. How is it that a man who killed his wife because of a firewood bundle, or another gentleman who got into a fight with another gentleman because of a $650 cream and killed that gentleman, how are we supposed to preemptively determine what any one of you will do next in a love triangle? We are told that about 800 citizens is assigned to one police officer. In short, one police officer cannot police 800 citizens all by himself. I think what government can do is to institute education methods to provide counseling, to provide some form of community-based program to educate people on the danger or dangers of domestic violence and other related crimes or other related scenarios that leads to death. But we don't know what's going to happen on Mr. Peter farm the next minute, or someone in a land dispute. And I think it's unfair for you to say, since this new administration took power or took office, a lot of our citizens are just dying. You cannot hold the government responsible for the individual action or actions of a handful of people or an individual relative to a domestic dispute or some other incident. Now let us be clear, one of the police officers died from an accident, as far as we know. But that again, we want to say to the Veterans Human Rights Institution that this government remains committed under Article 11 to providing security for all of its citizens, providing protection for all of the citizens. But they too should take into consideration that as a human rights group, they have a part to play. It's not about looking for what's right. It's also looking for what's wrong. So if you know what's wrong, then help be a part of the solution, because criticism is also a part of the solution, but constructively we need more. So again, the government will do its part to educate citizens on the way forward should they have issues with their neighbors, with their bosses, with their family members, that there are far better ways to solving problems other than violence. Violence begets violence. And I'm sure in the coming days, weeks, and months, the president will double down on this message. Because it's not the military, I repeat, that is going into villages and killing people. It's not the police that are stomping communities and shooting people. It's people to people. It's person to person. It's family. It's loved one. And I think we can do a better job doing that. Another thing I'd like to touch on is the Liberian government celebrates Open Government Week on Friday at the Monrovia City Hall. We had a session yesterday at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the whole thing was built around transparency in government, working with partners to ensure accountability and transparency in government. What are some of the things we can do? I don't know if they have copies of the little book, Liberia's Open Government Partnership, Combinations and Action Plan. There are lots in there that I cannot go through right now because of time constraints, but I want you to know that the government under His Excellency President George Martin is committed to transparency and accountability. And for that reason, we're engaging our partners to be able to craft a plan that will allow you to have access to your government and your government answerable to you. I'd like to also inform you that the reason you did not see me last week is because I attended, I represented the government of Liberia along with my colleague, the press secretary to the president, Honorable Sam Mana, at the World Press Freedom Day. Let me congratulate the media in Liberia for celebrating the day also. And I think it was important that we did so. And I want to thank the President for affording me and Honorable Mana the opportunity to travel to Ghana and become part of the World Press Freedom Day. The conference was held, and it had keeping power in check as the team, media, justice, and the rule of law. And we touched on things such as how does government relate to the media? How does the media relate to government? What do we do to keep the media safe? What are some of the things that the media must do to be engaged with government? These are all things that we talk about. And again, with time being not on our side for our housekeeping to go into details, since we have the Honorable Minister here, we would like to say that it was a success. During the day, we had the opportunity to meet with our Ghanaian counterpart, Professor Hamid. We met with CEO of UNESCO and a couple of other individuals. And it will surprise you to note that we are about to craft a plan that will see a Pan-African news network. We all agreed during our discussions, and that is not the media. We're talking about the government of Ghana, the government of Liberia, the government of Angola, and the UNESCO heads. We sat at a table and we agreed that it was time to promote a positive image of Africa. When you look at CNN and you look at Al Jazeera, which played a key role in the organization over there, and you look at the BBC, and you look at other news organizations from Europe, America, and elsewhere, they project a positive image of their continents. We have the South African Broadcasting Corporation, but that is not enough for the continent of Africa. So we're going to work on a Pan-African news network. That news network, we believe, exists now, but we need to lift it up to where the continent can have that projected image, good image. And now, the consultative meeting on the Pro-Pro agenda by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Development, like we said before, I'd like to reiterate that when we came up with the Pro-Pro agenda, there were lots of noise going around as to what is the Pro-Pro agenda. But we were able to tell people that if you look at the definition of an agenda, it is a list of items to be discussed. If you want to argue, for the sake of argument, about an agenda, then look at its definition. We made that clear. Now, those who were arguing switched over from the agenda to the policy. But we'd like to maintain that the Pro-Pro agenda, the consultative meetings, saw our teams in the southeast, in the west of the country, other areas. They're coming back home and they're compiling their report. And that is exactly why it was the Pro-Pro agenda. By the time it is done and handed over in June or thereabout, you will have a Pro-Pro policy in place. Again, a Pro-Pro agenda is a list of items to be discussed. Our people went all around the country discussing with Liberians. When that delegation went to the States, they killed two birds with one stone. They attended a spring meeting with the IMF and the World Bank, but then they used the opportunity to engage the Liberian community in the diaspora there and got their feedback. We're told that dominating the discussion, it's centered around roads, education, etc. But roads, particularly roads. Everybody's talking about roads. So again, the agenda, the Pro-Pro agenda went out there, it's been discussed. When it's done, it will have the Pro-Pro policy. And the policy is a working document that goes through adoption and is put into place. So again, let us not be confused. We will come up with a Pro-Pro policy that will indeed become a policy and a working tool for all of us to follow. So ladies and gentlemen of the press, without much ado, we would like to call on, but I can take 2 or 3 questions and then call on the Honorable Minister.
Do you have a question for the Minister? Presiding Officer? Minister, you're very clear. No.
Okay, we got one. That means I think they're looking for the Honorable Education Minister.
If you could please come in the queue. When we ask you to ask questions, that person ought to be recognized. They will give you the chance to come in the queue.
You're not saying us. Good morning, Mr. Minister, and good morning to our Education Minister. But yes, you did the housekeeping, but we did not hear you speak on the president's recent visit to your community, where it was heard that the road there should be rehabilitated. So what can you tell us about that?
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the reminder. I think my notes here is quite different from the other notes, and I think I owe you lunch, because on my other note, I got it there. And how can you leave such a major thing? That's because when you're trying to make it number one, you end up forgetting about it. But it was on the first note, and we had to do some correction. Thank you very much, and I owe you lunch for that. The president made a visit over to the Dole community. It will interest you to know that I attended that ceremony also. And we went there looking for shovels and hoes, something you can break ground with. And it will amaze you to know that the president said, and I'm paraphrasing it, I did not come here to break grounds. I came here with a call to action. Mr. Public Works Minister, I need this road done in 3 months. From here to Claratown, where I am from. And you can tell the jubilation and the excitement. And what we gathered from there was that, you know, we are into the rainy season. So people said to us, every time a leader went there and talked about the road, they promised them that when the dry season comes, that the road will be paved. But this time, a leader went there and did not say when the dry season comes, recognizing that he, His Excellency President George Manuel, was in the rainy season. And he said to the Public Works Minister, I am not here to break ground. I'm here for the call of action. That this road within 3 months' time, 3 months from today, should be paved from here to Claratown. Now, he's not telling you a promise, and he's not breaking grounds, because we've been here, oh, you broke ground for this. No. So the president, as a show of force and seriousness, mounted the yellow machine and moved around the first few, if you want, yards or feet of dirt to show that work had begun. So I'm pleased to announce to you that the work at Dole community to Claratown, work has begun on the road, and contrary to what people were made to believe, that during the rainy season you can't pave roads, well, you're about to see something different. It tells you that this president, like he said, will not give elaborate speeches, but rather will show his work to the Liberian people. At the same vein, the Honorable Sir Joseph talked about the dedication of a clinic in a couple of weeks' time. At that same ceremony, he gave 100,000 Liberian dollars for the cleaning of the drainages around the community right there and then. So indeed, I'm also thrilled that this president is not the person you say talk and do, but this president is not breaking grounds anymore. We are building roads now. Any other question?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Is it morning? I'm Mayor Zanga, I write for Front Page Africa, and thank you that I'm now holding the microphone. That's good. My question to you, Mr. Minister, regards, in fact, I got two. The first one has to do with the Sash restaurant.
Okay.
The 3 ladies were denied entry because they did not have a male escort, which is, according to Article 11 of our Constitution, of discrimination. So, it has been turning around. We want to know which stand the government is taking, because for Lebanese people to come in our country and discriminate against our women, saying that the reason why they don't go there because they don't allow them because the prostitutes go there and let the people, whether it's from the pockets and all of that. So they are categorizing all of the Liberian women as prostitutes. Is that so? What is the government of Liberia doing about that in a nutshell? 2, I read on the newspaper or local media that the water and sewer head said that they will start to charge people for public well and hand pumps. So the poor giving water from under the ground. Are we to pay water bill for it? Thank you.
Let's take 1 minute, let me address this one, and then we proceed to that one. And that will be the last one for the Honorable Mr. Council. I will deal with the water and sewer stuff. I have not seen the newspaper, but what I saw on social media, I'm a person before I come in here as college, that area. I go on social media and just peek just like most of you do. And I saw that sooner or later, some government agencies will be charging people for the food they eat. Once we don't have the detail, as a communicator myself, I do not like to divulge information that I don't have details about, that are factual. The statute that created this institution require of us to disseminate information in a timely but factual manner. What I'm going to do is to contact, because I saw it in the nick of time just an hour before I got here. What I'm going to do is to contact the Liberian Water and Sewer, and I'm going to pull them down here, because it's all on social media, and it takes one newspaper to give fake news or one post on social media that may not be true. And even if it's true, I believe that a water and sewer will have explanation as to why that is so, or will address your concerns if there are any. I know in the state of Maryland for a fact, you go and check it out, that in the state of Maryland, Marylanders pay, and I'm talking about the state of Maryland in the USA. Do not argue that this is not the USA. What I'm trying to do is draw a parallel that these things are not uncommon. Okay? That they pay REIN tax. So that would be your homework to go look it up. I said this, I can go send REIN and you say I pay tax on it. You know? But it's the same, you dig hole and stuff. But at the end of the day, since I don't have enough information to give you, since you're looking at a source of your information, and I'm also looking at a source of my information, I think the appropriate thing to do is to go to the actual source around which this whole idea was formulated about the payment. About this, they call it Sage or Sage restaurant issue, you talk about 3 ladies. Well, officially we've not been informed, not by the police, that there's been an official complaint launched. We have the justice system here in this country. If you feel aggrieved, your issue can be addressed. We are told, I heard similar thing, that if you don't have a male partner, you cannot enter that area. But that's what I was told, or that's what I read on social media. The question then remains, is it an official policy of the restaurant or an official position of the restaurant? Have we been issued a statement from the restaurant to say this is the official policy as opposed to people just talking about it?
The restaurant confirmed it.
The restaurant confirmed it verbally, or is it?
They gave the statement.
They gave a statement to that effect.
Yes, and they apologized.
Okay, the apology has been rendered. That does not excuse the behavior. Again, no one under His Excellency President George Manuel Weir will ever endorse the insult to Liberian women. I don't care how much money you own, how many restaurants you build around this country. It is unacceptable, and it will be condemned in the strongest possible term. We will protect our citizens regardless of gender. We will not allow for discrimination anywhere we find it. And it remains to be seen. It is a restaurant. When we leave from here, the requisite agency will be informed, and pending an outcome of the investigation, we'll be able to tell you further what this government will or will not do. But one thing I must be clear upon, under his leadership, this government will not tolerate any insult from anybody, regardless of how much you have and what investment you make in this country. That is unacceptable for you to insult or discriminate against our citizens. Having said that, I also want the media to do its work. How about we finding the three ladies? How about us talking to the three ladies directly?
It was published in the front page.
Can you come this way, please? I understand it was published. I understand, the the sentiments. You being a woman and a media personnel, I do understand all that. And the only thing I'm doing is trying to say, how about we go and find them so that we get their side of the story, so that their side of the story can be told, as opposed to what is being posted on social media, in the newspaper, and now we're responding to what the restaurant put up in this press release, as opposed to having the ladies explain their side of the story. And let me be clear on this. The fact that you apologize does not negate the fact that you can face the law. Yes, you are apologizing for something you did, but if it violates our Constitution, then we're under obligation to make sure that justice takes its course. And if those ladies are aggrieved and are wrongfully treated, then of course if they come forward to take up their case, I'm sure that this government will not have any problem with pursuing the case in the interest of the protection that they are guaranteed under Article 11. Any other comment? Oh, the other lady.
Thank you, Minister. My name is Vivian Momona, and I write for the Heritage newspaper.
Yes, ma'am.
There's this information I would like to know from you. You representing the president, if I may say, in the government. You've been the official spokesperson for the government.
The official spokesperson is the president, the immediate spokesperson is the Minister of Information.
Yes. Okay. Minister, as it relates to the call for the establishment of the War Crime Court, there were so many people like the Liberians protesting, petitioning the lawmakers that they want the War Crime Court to be established in Liberia under the leadership of President George Weah. So I would like to know from you, you representing the president, what's the you have to say on this? What's the government's stand?
The government's position is very clear. At no point in time have this government said to anyone that we will not encourage a war crimes court or we will encourage a war crimes court. What this government have made clear to everybody is that we have a lot of priorities. And if you have a list of 8 things as priorities, 8, there will always be something at number 1. So this government is not refusing or is not saying that they would not allow for a war crimes court. It's just that we have priorities in this country, and the issue of justice is one of them, and the issue of a war crimes court is that. But when you look at some of the things that we have to look at right now, there is a mother that is about to die in childbirth. If you do due diligence to your country and to your people, let us go and research how much was spent on the trial of former President Charles Taylor. Let's do the research. So it's like you're looking for help from people, but the help you want is to try people as opposed to provide hospitals, roads, jobs. If the same people that are calling for war crimes court today would have called for it 12 years down the road, when the people they're seeking right now to face justice were the very leaders they were working under. But this government is less than 5 months, and we put all of the things, including the same war crimes code, everything is on the bucket list. But for now, there is a woman in childbirth that is going to die. There is a little baby that is going to die from typhoid fever. There is a child that is not in school. So we have our priorities, and we're saying that we're not ignoring the call for war crimes court. It's just that we want to focus on the things that matter most to the Liberian people right now. And one of those things happen to be the TRC, except that it's not at the top of the list right now. Any other question?
Yes.
I'll take that, and that will be the last one.
Okay, my name is Aaron Kuban, and I report for Fabric Radio. And basically, I just want to know the government response to the National Elections Commission press statement, saying that it does not have money to actually run the 2 by-elections in Montserrat and Bon counties. So, what's the government view on that?
The government have not made a determination or have not taken a definitive position on the NEC or giving the NEC a response. What I can tell you right now is that the NEC said that they received about $500,000. And that tells you that the government responded with the little it had. To be candid with you, when you asked for $2.50 and I gave you 50 cents, start working with the 50 cents first, as we go ahead. But to say, okay, the 50 cents you gave me not enough, so I'm not doing anything right now. Even for those of us that work for the government, sometimes the government say, hold this while we look for the other one, and as you're working with this, we'll bring the other one. But again, we cannot query or condemn. We are the same government. Until the government can look into the matter and take a definitive position on the issue remains that the NEC have taken a decision. I'm sure the president is looking into the matter, and in a timely manner, you will get a response. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, let me talk about timely response. Look, everybody waking up, Honorable Minister, is like, that's the man we've been waiting for. So let me seize the opportunity to introduce to you our guest today, the Honorable Ansu Soni, Minister of Information, Republic of Liberia. Minister of Education, sorry. I'm sure Honorable Eugene Nangwe will not have been happy with that. But that's okay, that's why he's my best friend. But let me introduce to you the Honorable Ansu Soni, Minister of Education of the Republic of Liberia. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Ministers in this house, ladies and gentlemen of the press, and the listening public. My name is Professor D. Ansu Soni, normally just for Ansu Soni. And as much as I am called minister, I seem to like the name itself, because the title is transitory. So you need to know me as Professor Soni, Minister of Education. Thank you, Minister. I saw Honorable Wozi here also. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It's a big privilege. I've been thinking how to get some messages across. And this morning when I got to the office, and yesterday, I got the information that I would come here, say, wow, things happen when you are thinking about it, and somehow it comes from places that you were not even looking first. Hereafter, we shall be in close contact with you, so that the information that we need to deliver to the public, they are aware. I'm here with my deputy minister for planning and research and his minister Arton Kezeli. And the gentleman is a physicist, a mathematician. When we are putting some numbers together and we just want to know the result of this, in just a few seconds, we have a result. The team that we have created at the Ministry of Education, I tell my deputies and the assistant ministers that they have to build a career. They have to build some legacies. We are passing the stage. And so we have created a team that we believe is going to be functional. A team in which no one is envious or jealous of the other. A team on which I am the midfielder. We are the one who do the distribution of the ball and determine where it goes. We are a team that we have expert defenders and frontline soldiers. And I can assure you that we believe, in spite of the limited resources, the will that our president has, the heart of love that he has for this country, if we were to all mount those respective hearts, this country shall change. And I believe it will change while I'm alive. And we intend to do all that is humanly possible to make sure, as it is written, it should be done. And I'm here to just share a few things with you. I won't be making a long presentation. I will give you the background. And my deputy and I will answer all of the questions that you have in your heart regarding education moving forward. When former President Seli ascribed mess to the education system, I didn't know the foundation of that statement. Was she speaking out of emotions or out of frustration? Or was she speaking from empirical facts? So when we were appointed Minister of Education, along with my team of ministers, we decided that we must explore first whether the statement made had any basis. So we have conducted a complete tour of this country. We divided ourselves into groups so that we could do it in a shorter space of time. We visited every county and we inspected schools on a selection basis, sample basis, because we had nearly 6,000 schools. We just could not inspect all of them. We inspected private schools, public schools, faith-based schools, and schools that are also being managed by PSLs, the partnership. We have our results. And when we assemble the results, we are convinced that the statement made should have been made, and I'm happy it was made by the person who made it, because it was right under their watch. It gave us a clue now to prepare for a summit that comes end of this month from 21 to 24. We plan to go to Boca, Washington, where 300 plus persons, international group, donors, other partners, and most of our ministers, legislators, we will all be assembled in a place where we will present to that group what we believe gave rise to the mess, which we agree now But our statement is based on facts, numbers, things that we saw that we did not believe should have been there in the first place. Notwithstanding that, I'm one of those who believe that blames do not develop. Blames, if blames could be translated to development, this country has sufficient blames for superhighways to be constructed and skyscrapers. Sufficient blames. So my position is with me and my ministers, and I'm extending this to all ministers of all ministries working under this president, that we pick up the pieces as we see them, that we look for those things that are available and start crying about what is not available, and we run away with it. And during our tenure, do our best to make sure that what we have we utilize for what we can utilize and accomplish in a given time. We have targeted ourselves, and we believe that the Ministry of Education, when we are finished with it, it will not be where we've met it, neither will it be where people may be expecting it to be. It will be beyond the expectation of all of us, God willing. And therefore we have decided to create this mood of what that encompasses everyone who has a head on their shoulder. That's why the summit is coming about. The Teachers Association will make a presentation. The Principals Association will make a presentation. The student grouping will make a presentation. The PTA will make a presentation. Some of the selected embassies will make a presentation. Donor representation will make presentation. I will make presentation on behalf of the ministry. What we've seen, what we have experienced. And the president will address the opening session. After he addresses the opening session, he will leave us now to think. Let all of the minds that are available in this country, I believe there is no genius that has the capacity to transform this education system standing alone. Not one, but God. God is not here. He has left this place and given it to us, and we seek his wisdom to execute those things that are before us. We need the media. We're going to be resting on the media to give us some time. Some of the spare time that we have on radio where we just play music, we're going to be engaging you to 5 minutes that we don't have to pay for. As opposed to play music for us to be shaking, we want for you to take 5 minutes of that time to send out some of the messages that we need for you to send. Otherwise, you'll be playing with the music. Send out a message that will tell a woman to send their child to school. And many of the challenges that we know that we have already come to determine in our review is that many of the children who have migrated from places to other places, they are living with aunties and uncles and big brothers and small brothers and all that. And those small brothers and aunties themselves have difficulty fending for themselves. There has to be a way for us to get a message to our people who believe that their children are being sent to Monrovia to go to school. My friend, if you are listening to me, your daughter is not going to school. Full stop. You might as well let her go to the 6th grade school up in your place, and when they get to 7th grade, maybe they can travel to other places. But if you send your child to your sister or your brother who does not have the means to survive themselves, how do you expect them to send your children to school? Until we begin to look at these, we will still have the problem. And we hope we can overcome these as we proceed. Let me just deal briefly with the summit and the purpose. A summit is a conference intended to assemble people either with like minds or diverse minds, or with a purpose to accomplish, a mission to accomplish, a determination to be made. So we have a conference, educational conference. And that educational conference is intended to determine and define solutions. We are going to present the challenges. What have happened up to this point? What is the inventory of success that we are taking it from? What do we have in our hands? What do we intend to harness over the period? What will be our objectives going forward? We need to tap on your minds. Yes, you media people, you hear more than we hear. There are a lot of things that you see that we don't see. Those good ones that bring solutions, share them with us. So at the end of the day, when the education sector should have transformed, and capacity is built the way capacity should be built, so that competence underlie the learning and teaching of our country. Then when we are talking about education, we're not talking about Professor Soling or Professor Kezeli or anybody of that sort. I like for us to share the credit. Let it be that the media, let it be that the ministers of other ministries, let it be that ministers, let it be that us together, sharing our visions and views, made education to transition from yesterday to tomorrow. Immediately I took over, I had to go to 2 or 3 or 4 conferences quickly outside this country. And believe me, when I got to some of those sections, I was a spectator. When I heard other colleagues speaking, other ministers speaking, I almost didn't introduce myself. But when you're a minister, you cannot hide. I had to be introduced. When others were talking about STEM education, when others are talking about advanced master's degree in TVET education and so forth, preparing to give PhDs in vocational education at colleges. When others were saying that, look, as we speak now, our innovation has given us the capacity to be able to transform some of our raw materials into finished goods ourselves. I couldn't speak. Never. If I had spoken, I would have disgraced myself. Because I have rubber in this country from 1926 till now. And I cannot boast of anything that is beyond the coagulum that we export. Nothing. For me, that's nonsense. Excuse my language. That should not be. I was here when there were extracts of oil from this country in billions of tons, sufficient to build this country 10 times over. All the oil now gone, and we just serve as spectators. This is what happened when the head on my shoulder is not capacitated to ensure that I take possession of what I own. Somebody else will take it for me, and I'll be spectators. When we talk about foreign direct investment, we believe that you are coming with actual resources to deploy, not to come and harvest out of here. But again, we are spectators. That has to change. It has to begin to change yesterday. And I believe that my president is determined to make sure that we take possession of this country and be proud of being Liberians. Be proud of this country. Build it in a way that the young people want to stay here. Not in a way that the young people want to leave. If there were bridges from here to the US, nobody would be here. Probably only the old folks. Because all of the young people would have left. That's a shame for country that is 171 years old. However, blames do not build highways. So we are going far with what is left. The summit in Calcutta will encompass statements from all sectors. We don't care what the person speaks of. If they are angry, let them speak anything that hurts them. We just want to hear what is on their minds. Because when we come from that summit, we want to come out of there with a position on the steps that we are going to be taking, and we will not listen when somebody is speaking advice to what we'll be doing. This is why we are calling you now. If you do not make your position known, forever hold your peace until I'm not minister. I will not listen to you. If we are making mistakes, we will make it until we find out and correct it. So that we will not make mistakes, we want to tap on your wisdom. This country is ours together. Nobody is more than doing the other. And when it becomes better, then it's become better for all of us. If I cannot send my son to a school, and that school is not good enough for anybody else's son. If I cannot send my son to the hospital, and that hospital is not good enough for anybody else. It should be good enough for all of us. If I want to go elsewhere, I'm doing so because I can afford it, and it's a preference. Not because the others are subordinate. I hope we are together. The pro-poor education, P-R-O, pro, means for, in favor of, leading in that direction, for them. Who's poor? The poor are those who are living below the regular, normal standard. The poor is one who probably has 1 meal a day, one or less than a meal. The poor is one who cannot pay their way to the hospital. Even if they are critically sick, they will probably die if somebody does not help. The poor is one who cannot find a place to live comfortably. For comfortably is relative. There's a door, there's a window, you got a bed, it's comfortable. The poor, and this country has a lot of them. This president has therefore said, whatever we do must consider those people first. Because we believe that unless the majority become who they need to become, the minority can never become who they want to become and live in peace. Our wants must be subordinated to their needs. We must ensure that we sacrifice for those who need. So we have to place our wants aside and pay attention to the needs of the majority. That's a passion for me. And it will never come any way except we have developed the human resource, building a pool of human capital, people who can help themselves. Nobody wants somebody to feed them. People want people to prepare them to feed themselves. That's exactly what the Ministry of Education is up to do. That's why we are transitioning now to competence-based, preparing you for life skills. Poor. The agenda, therefore, the education agenda for the poor is intended to give them skills that they can help themselves, singularly or collectively, with entrepreneurial understanding that if you cannot find an office job, you can employ yourself. Skills. Skills that others come from other countries come here and they can live on it without working in government or working in any office. Skills. Skills that we wish for, that we do not have. And those skills must be given to the young people. Come what may, rain, shine, storm, or damnation. We are determined to do just that. This is why this summit is taking place, so that we can hear from you. You either speak now or forever hold your peace until my time is up. Ladies and gentlemen, with just that background, I'm speaking passionately about this, and we intend to deliver education on the platter that all of us can see a couple of years down the road. We are hoping that the steps will be taken 10 years down the road. Our students, 60 to 75% should be able to perform in the WAS exam, or whatever exam there will be. 60 to 75% of them should be able to perform well. Well meaning Division 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6, 7, and 8 should not be in our books. All of us know that 8 is throwing you off the cliff. 8 is not good passing. In fact, if I have my way and the summit approve it, we will remove it as passing. You don't graduate from high school with Division 8, which is less than ridiculous percentages. But it is considered to be passing. Only 9 is failure. If you are on the border of 8, and the majority of our kids are, then either we have not been doing our job, or somebody is not doing their job. The reason we have already outlined them, we're only going to talk about it on the surface here. You will follow us to the summit. I don't want to preempt myself. That's why I'm taking this time to tell the foundation and to encourage you, entice you to follow me, so that you can get exactly from all the horses that will be speaking at that place. That has to happen in the space of 10 years. In the space of 10 years, we want to make sure that all of our students have skills. Let me just tell you just this one. Beginning next year, we want to introduce skills program in every high school. This is what we are working on now. The curriculum is being developed on 3 tracks. When you complete 9th grade, we will look at your results from 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and 9th. We look at your result on the WIAC examination. There will be a counseling section. And in your high school, you don't go anywhere else. And we'll now direct you into 3 tracks. Those students that are analytical, sharp, science, reading class, we'll put them in the science track. They are the ones who are going to be our innovators. They are the ones who will be in the STEM program that we'll be developing. The others who are not analytical, sophisticated in that way, we'll put them in the liberal arts track. They will be doing those sophisticated geometry and all those stuff in high school. Because when they go to college, they're not going there. They're going somewhere else. They're doing social sciences. Each of those 2 tracks will do 1 skill each. So if I'm doing the sciences, I will still do 1 skill. If I'm doing liberal arts, I will still do 1 skill. So when I get out of high school, I have a skill. So while I'm finding my way to get to college, I have a skill. There are those who are not in any of these 2 groups, the Division 8s and the 7s. Those ones will put them into skills program. They will be doing arithmetic. I didn't say mathematics. Arithmetic. And that arithmetic is to help them to do measurements, to do their quotations, to be able to add the balance their own bank account and so forth. They will do English, of course, but not the literature, not all those sophisticated things that gave them problem. But they will do minimum 3 skills. Those 3 skills will be the life skills that when they complete. Now, WAS is a ministerial test in all of the skills. When you do your WAS, you have your WAS certificate, you graduate as a high school person, and you know skills, you go straight to work. If you want to go to college later on, it'll be up to you. But we would have capacitated you to make a life, especially those who are over age, 19-year-old in 7th grade, 20-year-old in 9th grade, those kind of stuff. We want to make sure that we help you. So at the end of the day, if we were to do those continuously, now mind you, you're not just doing 6 months, 7 months. 10, 11, 12th grade, if the carpentry or masonry or electricity or electronics or mechanics, those 10, 11, 12th grade, you're doing those. When you graduate, you are not a novice, you are a professional. Only those 6 months program are different. We're doing you 3 years. When you complete, my friend, you can be a skyscraper. So God willing, you guys need to pray for us, but work with us. Anything that is and we will listen to you, so we can take it off from there. We leave the room now for anything at all. If this is a matter that will be taken to the summit, and I will answer it in the way that we want for you to come to the summit. But we don't want to jump ahead of ourselves. I bring greetings to you from the Ministry of Education, all my deputy ministers, Daton and Wopu, and all my assistant ministers, my directors, county education officers. We are declaring that in the space of 2 years, to be a principal of a school, you must have a bachelor's degree. You don't have a bachelor's degree, you can't be principal of ABC school. ABC school. You will not be principal. Private or public. And the reason for that is this. We are going to license teachers. License you. When we give you a license like the doctors do, the nurses do, the accountants do, the lawyers do, we protect the profession. When you get that license and you go to teach, you must accumulate what we call continuous professional education to maintain the license. And you must do that every year. And so certain number of hours, if it's 200 hours or 150 hours, you must do learning new things. And to do those, only somebody who has the capacity to help you. That's why we're getting the principal to be bachelor degree. And all the new training will now train those principals. They will be the trainers. And they will conduct the lessons in their schools. So you don't have to leave your county or your school to go to a particular session. You will be trained right in your school. Every week, if it's 2 hours, it's 2 hours. But the principal who would have retooled will be prepared to teach you. So when the year ends, you have already accumulated your number of hours to maintain your license. Just that introduction. When you come to the summit, we'll explain more details. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, Minister. You can retire with your question. Mr. TV will go on the floor. Mr. Minister?
Would like the Honorable Minister take his question?
Okay. Okay. Before you take your question, Minister, I'll tell you that while you are on the floor, Minister, while you are on the floor across the world, we have 56 persons following you on TV international across the world. And on MCCT, we have 92 persons following you around the world. So you have question for the Minister of Education. I ask you to leave your seat and come in the queue. Please come forward. Introduce yourself and ask one question.
My name is Zach Sherman. I report for Sky TV. Sky. Sir, many of times we understand universities around Liberia. Take students who come from high school who have taken the out the West African Examination Council or WACS take interest, and we want to believe that the essence of these public examinations are meant to is like a clarification amongst you to university, and we see a lot of universities doing that. So can you explain to us that is that necessary or something should be done about it? Thank you very much.
So we take three, they can respond. Please come forward.
My name is Wilfred Pepe. I report for Radio 5. Minister, I would love to know how far it is the transaction between the president and WASP as it relates to the pronouncement that you are going to pay WASP for all senior students. And then we are getting report that students who pay their WASP fee prior to the pronouncement, those school administrations are still denying them their money. So how far is the transaction between the president and WASP?
Thank you so much. My name is Hansen Dega and I do report for Truth FM. My question, having stayed in the educational sector of the country, I want to know what are some of those things that you have identified for which you decide to call a summit. And upon the completion of the summit, those things that will be underlined as that are serving as hindrance to the educational sector of our country, how long will it take for you to carry on the speeded implementations of those issues? Thank you.
Seems like you can respond.
Okay, I will answer these three, and then I will call my young deputy here, and you can deal with him now. The one that has to do with entrance, there are certain layers of learning. In fact, we're going to reintroduce testing at 6th grade. We're going to reintroduce testing at 6th grade. And we'll add testing at 3rd grade. And the testing at 3rd grade will be national. But the testing at 6th grade will be YF. There are 12 years of learning. We're breaking them up into 4 strata. 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12. At each stage we evaluate you. And the evaluation is not just for the students. It's intended to determine whether or not the system we're using is working. It's intended to determine whether or not the teachers are delivering what they should deliver and how they should deliver it. It's intended to determine whether or not the students are coping with the materials or the curriculum is relevant to their learning at their age. Grade 3, we test you. Grade 6, we try you. Grade 9, we test you. And then grade 12, we polish you and send you away. Even with those tests, when you are matriculating, when you're leaving from high school, which is a complete different platform, and you're going to tertiary education, they test you. They are not testing you just for testing you purpose. They're testing you to determine whether or not what you have done up to the point that you have completed gave you the wherewithal to roll. Mind you also, when you finish high school, many people don't go right away to college. Sometimes they go well. After some 5, 6 years, they want to come to college. We need to test. It is this testing that is universal. You don't just roll on. Now they have these other countries where they start their pre-college, like I think it's Ethiopia or Nairobi. I think they have a pre-college. When you, the way we have 6 to 9, they have 1 to 8. After you complete 8, 9 and 10 are in their own group. When you begin from 11, 12, they call that you're in high school, but you're doing pre-college. So when you come from there, you then roll on into the discipline that you are. Ours is different. You got to finish high school completely before you begin college. So that is a system across the world. You got to take tests. When you finish bachelor's degree in this school, and you want to do master's degree in this school, they will test you again. In the same school. I'm not talking about different school. So it's a system, except you're changing later on, when you'll be president of those universities, and you can decide about for the time being, that is the system across the world. So let's just go along with it. The second thing you ask is the WASH fees. It's the president who decided, looking at the need, to add the WAEC test administration to national budget. So that when it comes to that, private school, public school, all students take the test. That's go resident. Only thing you carry now is your head and your pen. Now, I know for a fact that we have made some significant payment already. The first batch of money that were paid, that's what WAEC used to bring the test over, do the administration, everything, they do the script marking. The final portion of it, they will, I know the bill has also come, I've signed it, we said the Ministry of Finance for the last portion. The total is about 6.something million for that exam and about 30 million for the junior high school section. That we're going to pay. What I have told many of the schools is that when the government pays that latter portion, all the reimbursements will go. Now, if I'm in the school and we have not gotten our reimbursement, then of course those amounts we will talk to the schools. If we don't pay them before the end of this budget, in fact we have to go through any budget. I shouldn't even say that because it is in process. I've made the Ministry of Finance again next week, but we have paid significant portion of that already. That is out of the way. The last thing you asked for was how long it will take us. Well, look, if you want to build a house, for example, if you got all the money, you build a house in the same week. If you don't have all the money, then you progressively do so. There are too many challenges. Let me call them problems. Let me take the NGO word out. Challenge. There are too many problems. What we intend to do when we come from the summit, we have organized our priorities for 10 years. We will approach them on the basis of resources. We will not approach all of them at the same time. Let me tell you, for example, we intend to make sure that every high school has a laboratory, a functional laboratory. Functional laboratory. We want to also make sure that many of the schools in the interior area have residences for teachers, so that we can rotate teachers anytime we want to, so they will not go and they leave. Those kinds of things. They need money. The more we get, the more we shall do. But we identify first and foremost the training of teachers. As I stand right here, I need 7,200 teachers. Now, that 6,000, we have done additional investigation to find out that 6,000 plus another 1,000 plus, there are 1,100 plus teachers that are sick and aged, no longer going to class. Some of them send their sons who are in different grades. I'm also letting you know that there are over 2,000 teachers that are just basically out of high school, 900 of them less than high school. Those are the people that are teaching. So when you say mess, that's the reason. And they gotta go. And because they got to go, we have to find people to train. So what we intend to do, we have to get applications. All of those who want to teach, you apply. We'll try to make it in a way that will add some credence to our profession. If you can't find any job, we're not going to let you join the classroom. because you can't find job. So before you get in the classroom, you must know what to do there, and we have to prepare you. If you have a bachelor degree, for example, in mathematics, and then you're not a teacher, we must put you into a 2-month training for the pedagogy and the content, because you already know the content to be able to teach. So please, it will take us some time, but for me, we have targeted ourselves for 10 years. And the final result is that 60 to 75% of our students should be completing work in division 1 to 5, not 6, 7, and 8. Then we'll be happy that we have accomplished our mission. Thank you very much. The other questions, definitely thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much, Minister.
Well, Yekezi Zobel, presenter at Light TV. Well, Mr. Minister, recently you held a discussion with some education executives, and the president of the NTL was a part of that discussion. And in that discussion, you talked about the establishment of an academic crime report. I want to know how far is that process and what impact or difference will it make? Thank you.
Okay, 3 questions. Minister, and you respond.
Well, I'm Ibrahim Sharif. I report for the Liberian News Agency. I got a 2 young money. If we want have to do with extending invitation to international schools that are operating in Liberia, did you send an invitation to the international schools, or will you do that so that you can tap on your expertise? The other one have to do with schools, administrators upgrading or building a laboratory. Will the government provide subsidy to those various schools in order to upgrade their various laboratories?
Minister, say it's compound. I'd like for you to respond to that.
As it relates to the invitation, so that was a suggestion, so we consider it keenly, but we, just as the minister said, we need partners. So whoever can contribute to improving our education system is welcome. So we consider that. Okay, but we said as it relates to the summit, we invited guests. So it's not actually schools. Those are authorities, those are donors, those are experts on educational matters. Okay, as it relates to the academic grant code, the minister has said it repeatedly. The academic grant code is just a fast track code. It's not meant to, it's just what every other code is meant to do, not to punish someone. It's like a deterrent. Okay, so as much as we make demands of our students, we make demands of society, there are certain norms you have to abide by. Equally so, teachers must also be very responsible for certain actions. There are just certain actions that are not permissible. For instance, you have teachers participating in having students who are staying in one school, moving to another school, and jumping classes. So those things will be punishable, and they must serve a deterrent. So we're going to better our education system, there must be some kind of deterrent. You should know that if you commit certain offenses, you can be punished. Okay. As for the laboratory, yes. In fact, Minister keep emphasizing our subsidy. You know, we have a system of subsidy where we give money to private school. And we're thinking critically, how do we go about doing that? Should we just be giving people physical cash? Or can we second teachers to private schools? Can we provide laboratory and library to private school? As you know, majorities of our students are in private school. So even if we were to better the public school system, without bettering the private school, we may not achieve our goal. Okay, so that's something that we'll be considering seriously.
Okay, I'm Dennis Nixon, and I report for Joy FM Liberia. Our Minister Sony, I listen and watch you speak with so much passion for what you are called to do, of which I admire. Back in the day, you have students there was a system back in the days that when a student fail in a school, you see that school, or there was a chain that you have that student going to another school to take either the next class or maybe give yourself a promotion. There was that chain and monitoring system between the education and the schools. But now you found out that students who fail in school, they go to other school and just give themselves promotion. So I'd like to know, why will the Ministry of Education do as it relates to that? And secondly, I'd like to know why the 9th grade WAEC was extended. Thank you.
Okay, so get back to the issue of someone asked what was the need for the academic code, the purpose, what we intend to achieve. So that's just some of the issues. So things like student jumping classes, you stay in one class, you go down. I think I already said that. So you jump in another class, or that's some of the things we intend solving by having this academic plan code. Though we have started doing the publicity, we call the stakeholder, we have discussed with them, and we continue doing that. Even in the summit, explain to people there are certain things that are not permissible. You know, so but equally so we have a deterrent. So the academic plan code is also intended to address this issue. Okay?
So because of time, we will take 2 questions, and then the minister, the presiding officer, will introduce our next guest.
My name is Never Gilomo. I report for the Empower newspaper. My question has to do with I visited an area in Boston, Secretary District in Benjamin County, where they have a deplorable elementary school there. And with one paid teacher. The teacher, he doesn't go on time. The minister said he inspected inspected team went alone. Then he visited that place.
Where is the school and where is it located?
Area is from Sanitary District in Green Gila County.
Okay, so
that's facing a very, very deplorable condition with one paid teacher.
Thank you very much. In fact, I led the delegation to Green Gila County. So we spread our team around. I can't tell you right now if we went to that particular school, but what you just tell you is common, it's a common stuff. So in fact, when the minister told you that when the statement, the former president made that the education system was a mess, he was taking you with directions you were making, and now he can confirm that that statement has some empirical basis. Those are some of the things. So that's one of the reasons we encourage you all to summit. You will hear a lot. We'll give you the details.
My name is Hannah Nkelekna, and I write for the New Observer newspaper. I heard a minister speaking about when the education system is not a tool for you, it is not good for the other person. And then that drew my attention to looking at the government officials. They are here taking their children from the school system in Liberia, sending them out of country. And when they go to those countries, they also attend the government school there. So I want to know what the government is doing to let the government official children remain in Liberia and then go to school here.
Okay, so yeah, so that's just what the minister said. The minister said, look, everyone has the right. You make what the minister want. What the minister said was, look, we're going to make our school stand up. Shows that the school will be of quality that you can send your children to. So people won't be sending their children to school because the school is not of quality. But people also, even if you have a school of quality, it's the right of people to send their children to where they think is affordable. Okay, so what the minister is saying is that we're going to create, and we can't do it alone. That's what we need all of you to join. Let's create an education system of such quality that we all can be proud of going to our public schools.
Thank you, Minister. If you retire, we will have our presiding officer on Wuzu who will introduce to us our next guest.
Well, I'd like to thank you all, members of the media, for coming. I'd like to commend the media for raising this occasion. We, as a ministry, we've been grateful for the level partnership, continue to assist between the Ministry of Information, Culture, Affairs and Tourism, the Government of Liberia by extension, and co-best. So on that note, we want to commend the Ministry of Education team for a splendid presentation. The Mercy education system is going to be revamped. The current team there at the Ministry of Education, headed by Professor Dao Ansu Soni, a man who comes to the job with over 30 years of practical experience, with a very strong CV, along with his able lieutenant, like Deputy Minister who just spoke. He is a prolific mathematician, and so we expect the best. And a few students in Liberia want to hear the name of a mathematics teacher or instructor. So, Honorable Minister, we want to say thank you for coming, and we remain grateful for the nation and people. We will never permit. No, you won't go there as well. So, we'd like to now welcome to the podium Mr. Jimmy. Okay, he is the head of Secretary of the Open Government Partnership, and is here today to make a presentation. You know, the Open Government Partnership is an initiative. It is geared towards, transforming the way government serve the people. It's a global call to action, the way government serve its people across the world. So this government, being a government, has been using accountability and transparency, and we remain committed under the able leadership of President George Manaware to the process of informing our people on a daily basis on the happenings of the government and what government intends to do and how government intends to execute or implement policies affecting the well-being of the state. So on that note, I'd like to welcome you now to the podium. And so to members of the media, we want you to listen as usual, tentatively, to cue your questions and inform. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rosie. I want to say thank you to members of the Focus State. We also want to say thank you to Professor Soni for such a profound, clear, and articulate explanation of our education sector. And as I sat there, I can see that Liberia, in the not too distant future, will have transformed to be like places we hope to measure our country in comparison to Ghana, Nigeria, and the rest of our West African neighbors. My name is G. Ralph Jimmer Jr., and the Jimmer is spelled G-I-M-M-E-H. Perhaps you would like to correct that. And I served J-I-M-M-E-H. And I served as the head of Secretary for the Open Governance Partnership. The Open Governance Partnership, as you are aware, is an international initiative to secure concrete commitment from governments in the best way that they can serve their citizens. So over time, government has decided to form a partnership with civil society so as to have citizens' participation in the governance process. Liberia, we know, we are all aware that Liberia signed on to this initiative in September 2011. And over time, in the last few years since 2015, we've developed 3 different action plans. I know your question and your concern will be, what part of those action plans made over time? Again, government has been working hard, but we would like to give credit to this government, and especially under the leadership of the Minister of Information and his able deputy, because the Open Governance Partnership is being housed at the Ministry of Information with the Deputy Minister of Administration serving as the chairperson of the steering committee. So under this leadership, they've done tremendously well. Recently, the steering committee was established. That is something that hasn't been done in years since Liberia signed on to the initiative. quite recently a steering committee was established, and then we now also have the secretariat being formed, with me serving as head of secretariat. Liberia, since Monday, joined the world over to celebrate the Open Governance Week. That celebration began globally since Monday. And in observance of the celebration, there's a global theme that says the global call to action to transform the way governments serve their citizens. Liberia decided to customize that global theme so that it will suit us, which of course all of us have every country has the right and privilege to do so. So we customize our theme to say promoting transformative governance through citizens' participation and inclusion. So, on Wednesday, as you heard Minister Pacon say, on Wednesday, we had a high-level panel discussion, with all government ministers and agencies as to discuss their involvement, as to get their buy-in into ensuring that the OGP, the Open Governance Partnership, is effective and that it works well in this nation. As you said, we know this is an international initiative that gives our country an opportunity to look in the right direction, that gives our country, put our country on the step to ensure to people that our government is practicing transparency, accountability, openness, and citizens' participation, which is being pushed, which is something that the international and the global community highly encourage, vis-a-vis what the Pro agenda is saying, that is focused and concentrated on citizens' participation. So, as we are going through the celebration, Wednesday was the high-level panel. On Friday will be the climax of the entire event. And on Friday, there will be a parade that will be held. That will be from the Peter Harris School to the Monrovia City Hall. That parade starts 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're hoping that by 10 o'clock, the indoor program at the Monrovia City Hall in the ballroom will be held. At that indoor program, we are hoping that the president will be there and he will deliver a special statement, and there will be a panel discussion. We've invited the Speaker of the House of Representatives. We've invited the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. Matter of fact, I can say for a fact that the Chief Justice consented yesterday, not just in writing, but even in person. He consented yesterday that he will be there because he was supposed to serve on the panel. The first panel discussion will have the Speaker of the House of Representatives, he will have the Honorable Chief Justice, he will have the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, and Anthony Oscar Blow, the Executive Director for the Center for Democratic Governance. That panel will be discussing advancing OGP principles to achieve government pro-poor agenda, the role of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. So each of the panelists, like the Chief Justice, will be discussing the role of the judiciary. The Speaker will be discussing the role of the legislative branch of government. The Minister of State will be discussing the role of the executive, and then Anthony Oscar Blow will now be discussing the role of civil society vis-a-vis these three roles. The second panel discussion will be government-citizens collaboration in advancing inclusive, accountable, and responsive governance. And those making up that panel will be Honorable Tanya Bronson, Deputy Minister, Ministry of Finance, Development Planning, Councillor Mark Freeman, Independent Information Commission, Mrs. Frances Green, Chairperson, National Civil Society Council of Liberia, and Mr. Lesdale Matthews, Executive Director, NIDA, the West African Research Development Agency. So, we are hoping that all of us, that includes you as well, can form a part of the march, and you can all turn out at that symposium as Liberia seek to score higher mark when it comes to the Open Government Initiative. The last report, the 2016-2017 report, said that Liberia's school was limited. The school ranks from not started, limited, substantial, and then completed. When that school was brought forth, it says that Liberia school limited. That means there's a lot to be done. There's a lot we need to do as it relates to open governance, as it relates to being responsive, and to have citizens' participation. And we are really hoping that we can move from where we are so that when our next report comes out, we can be at either substantial or completed. Currently, we are working with all government ministries and agencies. We are engaging them to understand the role of the OGP and to work in making sure that citizens have their participation within governance. I mean, I was really impressed when Professor Soni said there's going to be an education conference, an education summit that will allow people the space to be able to say how they want their education to be structured, how they want their education to be transformed. We think that that is citizens' participation because the basis of any good governance has to do with citizens' inclusion. All right, because you serve the people. You are there to ensure that what the people want can be properly channeled, structured, and put in the right framework to be able to meet their needs. And so the OGP is working seriously to ensure that that happens. At the end of this press conference, we will be able to give you the action plan, a copy of our action plan that was developed 2017-2019. You can check with Famulep. We will also give to you, we have a press release that inform you of everything we've been doing over time as well as what is to be done. You can also check with him. He will be able to deliver that. So far, that's where we are at with the Open Governance celebration. And if there are questions, we'll be glad to take your questions.
I will take two questions. Please come forward.
All right, quickly, let me just announce that the Honorable Minister of Education, Honorable Dao Ansosoni, and his able deputy will be with us at this point because of friendly engagement that they have to reach out to. So, Honorable Minister, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate the presentation. All right, so members of the Provo State, you will now get in the queue to ask the OGP head of OPG head of Secretariat your question. So 2 questions.
Okay, well, I'm Ibrahim Sherif. I report for the Liberian News Agency. I've been following the OGP, that is the Open Government Partnership, for a while now. And within my research, I found out that the OGP within their action plan, they have 4 thematic areas and that of 10 commitments. But I found out that some of those commitments are very ambitious. They are over ambitious. Like the first one that talks about monitoring legislative and setting up a database for the legislature. So I want to know how realistic are those commitments if they can be achieved.
Thank you very much. I'm Dominic Fire, radio reporter. I want to understand. Is this program is only a Montreal-based program or is nationwide? If I want to know how it is going about and how all people from all counties going to understand that this is reality for the country.
So I'll begin with the last question. And the question is whether the program is a nationwide thing. We are saying open governance partnership. You know the government is not a Monrovia-based government. The government is the government of the Republic of Liberia. And the fact that it's a government civil society engagement is a nationwide thing. Maybe your question is about the celebration. The celebration also, yes. The only thing is this, that we are now beginning. That's the reason why It's being concentrated in Monrovia, but there are going to be consultations across the country in subsequent times. So it's not just about the Open Governance Partnership. It's not just about the celebration that is being held. It's something that is continuous. The other question was the commitment. Some of our commitments are over ambitious, and how realistic they are. Well, let's say here that what we've also been doing in the last few days, we've been having consultation with all line ministries and agencies that are responsible for these commitments. And part of our work has been to review those commitments so that the commitments will become more realistic, so that those commitments will become more achievable, all right? So that we will not just have things that are placed in there. And we've been able, with time, we've been able to redesign some of the commitments. We've been able to even remove some. You talk about the legislators, of course. That commitment is realistic, it can be achieved. And that's the reason why we are having consultation with all three branches of government to ensure that we get their buy-in, that we get your support, and that they become responsive to these different issues. So we are ensuring we're working as hard as we can. We are ensuring that our commitment become more realistic because we want to be able to serve citizens. But also, we want to be able to make impact. All right? So it's not just a paper-based thing. We want to be able to make impact. We want our citizens to feel the impact of the governance process. Thank you.
Okay, so quickly on that note, we like to commend you for coming. And thank you so much. Members of the Provost, let me just say it quickly before you shut down your equipment. There been this concern, from the general public about the operations of the Special Presidential Task Force. And I'd like to say that yesterday's press conference, I was held by the chairman of the Special Presidential Task Force, Honorable Benedict E. Reeves. Was an action taken by him as an individual. What created an operation in the southeast, and he thought to speak to the media. And I'd like to quickly say, as head of Secretary of the Special Presidential Task Force, we are not in the business of attacking the General Services Agency or any member of government from other agency or ministry or agency. So we are collaborating. And the Special Presidential Task Force is not an institution on its own. We are a subset of the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs and that of the General Services Agency. So we are committed to the process of working along with the leadership of the General Services Agency. As we speak, the database of the Special Presidential Task Force have been turned over to the Deputy Director General for Operations of the GSA, and we are collaborating. So we want to categorically condemn any act of arrogance against heads of entities or individuals considered, maybe contrary to the operations of the task force. So we are not in the business of condemning the operations of the GSA. So as a government, we are united. And we are on course working together. So we will just, the media will carry that clarity that the Special Presidential Task Force is not forcing with the Director General of the GSA. She is a good lady, we respect her, and I think we won't hold that concern. So thank you so much for coming. We hope to see you next Thursday.
We have a copy of the statement, no question, no follow-up. The minister make clarification.
Okay, thank you all for joining us today. On this note, this is how we love to call it a day. You can join us tomorrow. We're going to be at the Open Government Policy, where we're going to be there tomorrow. So you can join us by 9 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to be there to bring you all of the happiness. Thank you all for your comments. Thank you for liking our page, and we hope you will invite others to keep liking the page. Thank you. Keep sharing this broadcast, and we're going to make sure to bring you all of the latest.